Welcome back to our channel. And yes, you're right. It has been a while. We haven't been here for a while. Think of it like we were taking a European vacation, but we are back. And when you come back, you gotta come back strong. So we got a crypto expert from VanEck. Menno has been around since 2016. He's seen it all. He's been through it all. He's gone through the bullish to the bearish to the bearish to the bullish and back again. And he's still around. So that should tell you something. Most people, after being here since 2016, they're like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm moving on. Forget about it. But he's still here. And for our first interview back after vacation, we get to sit down with him and really dig deep. Ask those questions that are on your mind to find out exactly what's going on in the space right now and how can you benefit. This is Bitcoin Magazine, and we are very happy to welcome Menno Martens, a crypto specialist. And I'm just reading your name tag at VanEck right here. How are you doing, Menno?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much. And something, thank you for accepting our invitation. We do send out these invitations to a lot of different people, but not everybody likes to sit in front of the camera and give an interview because everything you say will be used against you at some point down the line. So for you to be here, it's a brave thing to do. Not everybody is up to it. So let's jump in really quick and let's start discussing for those who do not know what it is your product offers, for those who are not familiar with the brand that is VanEck. What's the elevator pitch? If anybody asks you what it is you do, Menno, how do you reply?
Yeah, sure. So I will give a quick intro of who VanEck is, who I am myself. So VanEck is a seemingly traditional asset manager with quite innovative roots. It's now already a 70-year-old family business. It's been around for a while. It's been involved with ETFs, mutual funds, active funds, you name it. It's been one of the first offering, for example, gold products and services. And we've been big believers in crypto. Even the CEO Jan van Eck has been around since the birth of Bitcoin and has been a big believer um, of the ideologies behind Bitcoin. We mainly offer ETFs in the US and in Europe, but also a number of other products for professional investors. In the field of crypto, we are mainly known in Europe for the ETNs, the crypto ETNs. We have 14 crypto ETNs ranging from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all the way until Sui, Pyth, Celestia. So we have a very broad, a wide range of products in that regard. We even have two basket products, crypto leaders, smart contract leaders, to provide a diversified exposure to crypto in a single product. So that's basically what we offer, and these kinds of products they make it very easy for the traditional investors who may not have the knowledge of, for example, private key management or are simply uncomfortable with doing private key management to still be able to get exposure to crypto with a product that's fully collateralized by the digital assets themselves.
Now, based on what you just said, I've noticed that your Bitcoin trust uses both Gemini and Coinbase for custody, correct?
Yeah, this is in the US. Yeah, that's the US Bitcoin spot ETF. That's correct.
Okay.
And in Europe, our Bitcoin ETN, we use Bank Freak as the custodian. It's a European licensed bank, and actually just to mention that we are the only issuer of crypto ETNs here in Europe that do custody with a European licensed bank, and
Yes.
we find that that's quite a good way to set ourselves apart from the rest in Europe.
It does. It does. Now, simple question. Who is buying your spot Bitcoin, your spot ETH? Who's buying these ETH funds today? Is it retail people, RIAs? Is it hedge funds? Is it corporations? Is it me? Just, hey, I got 1,000, 2,000, dollars laying around. I'm gonna invest. Who are your consumers at this point and the data behind it? How are you
Mhm.
dealing with the data of exactly who are you reaching? Are you catering to specific target groups?
Yes, it's a really good question, and it's a bit hard to answer because of the nature of the product. It's exchange traded,
Yeah.
means that it's a product that's really widely available through banks, brokers, you name it. It's a product that's meant for both retail and professional investors, and we noticed that, or at least our data suggests that the majority of our end investors are retail investors. But over the years, especially the last few years when regulation has become more clear around crypto, we notice an increase in institutional interest as well. Um, Big banks, asset managers that have come to us, reaching out, inquiring about information about our products, and so one of the drivers for that was the clearer regulation, so MiCA in Europe, but also the introduction of the spot ETFs um, in the US, and them reaching out to us. Oh, is this product also available in Europe? And then we say, well, actually, we've had a similar product already available since 2021.
Yeah.
And they're always very surprised to hear that. Because of course the naming is different, and it's there's a reason why the name is different, but in the end the products are similar from an investor point of view.
Now, when you think about the ETTN specifically for Europe, there's always risk when it comes to staking. You know, you guys offer the staking yield. How do you deal with the mitigation preparation of downtime risk, for example?
Yeah, so that's exactly why we were one of, let's say, the later adopters of staking within our ETN range,
Mhm.
because we really did our due diligence to all of the possible risks, which are not easy to fully understand. And I spent a lot of my own time developing, together with my colleagues, of course, a risk mitigation framework. We have basically ongoing, continuous monitoring of on-chain the dynamics of staking, um, but also the performance of our validators, or the staking providers that we use. And using this information, we try to set a target staking percentage, so the percentage of assets from the collateral that we intend to stake. And we do this, we check this continuously. We make sure that we always adjust it based on, let's say, the latest on-chain environment. So, for example, in ETH, that environment is changing quite rapidly with the exit queue, and the exit queue really significantly impacts your liquidity and your ability to redeem staked or Ethereum out of the staked environment, and it impacts how much we can stake. So we adjust that target staking percentage based primarily on the exit queue,
Yeah.
but also the performance. And another important thing is to diversify among staking providers, because if one provider fails to provide the service, you
Yeah.
should be able to switch easily.
That's very good. Now, has MiCA altered this program in any way? Have you had to make specific changes because of the introduction and now implementation of MiCA?
Actually, that's the interesting part, right? Because most you would think yes that it impacts staking, but staking is it's self-custodial from the perspective of well, in our case, perspective of our custodian, which means that they always remain full control of their staked assets.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
while on in an on-chain view, it looks like the assets are on the address of the validator, but in reality, the ability to withdraw or the right to redeem those assets is always with our custodian. And this way, we make sure that, of course, we are also compliant. Our custodian is already MiCA compliant. They're working on getting a license as well, which would be by the end of this year. So it's something that we're currently checking to make sure that everything we do within the product is fully compliant with the latest regulations.
Wonderful. In the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned and you touched on key management. If it comes down to it, that is the most important aspect of, hey, do people step in or do people not step in? And how do you, can you explain a little bit better, how do you approach this aspect when it comes to VanEck?
hmm Yeah, so key management is it it happens time and time again. You know, you see the latest news, hacks, exploits, and the weakest point is always
Always.
someone who maybe exposes their
Yeah.
credentials. A hacker gets access to a confidential system and is able to get keys one way or another, or it's some form of phishing, some form of um,
It's
you
usually
know,
never is the program. Usually it's always the human.
yeah, it's always the human. Cryptography is incredibly strong, and that's usually not at fault.
Yeah. And
And
that's
in
what my
our
question.
case,
Like, how do you guys deal with that human error?
yeah, exactly. So it's about really, really, because it's the custodian is a European licensed bank, they already have very strict governance and reporting standards. And with regards to crypto, they have a very, um, well, I would say, good governance structure to make sure that the control of those assets is never with just one single person. And when you, so there's two very important measures, which is whitelisting of addresses that you are allowed to send crypto to.
Yeah.
This is done by compliance teams of the banks and requires multiple signatures. So it cannot happen that suddenly, let's say, the a hacker's address is whitelisted because it's checked by multiple people within the bank that this is what is contractually agreed upon with our counterparties. And the other measure is to make sure that when a whitelisted address is added, that when crypto is being sent, so a transaction is being created, that this transaction is checked by multiple people once again. So you have multiple levels of security, and it's always about making sure multiple eyes, multiple pairs of eyes see the same transaction to prevent these kinds of things from happening.
That's very good. That's very good. And it's very well explained, so it's easy to follow as well. Very good. Now, when it comes to the governance of exactly what you guys are doing, uh, do you guys run active token funds? Let me start there.
Yes, we do have an active fund, but it's not something I'm directly involved in. I'm
Okay.
I'm really involved with the passive strategies and everything that the passive strategies do, including staking.
Now, when it comes to the passive strategies, even if you're not involved with it, the passive strategies have a direct consequence and effect on these funds. Now, what would you say is the most integral part of what it is you do that would have an effect on people's funds?
So basically, it's the ability to give the exposure to investors that are seeking exposure to crypto, but are not either not comfortable with the private key management, or for some reason, let's say an institution is not allowed to hold crypto directly
Mhm.
because of their internal risk committee or maybe some regulation in their own jurisdiction, but through the ETN, which is, it's a regulated security, they are able to hold it. It's UCITS eligible, meaning that they can actually include it in their products and services and are able to offer it to clients without needing to need to set up this whole infrastructure needed for private key management or set up relations with custodians, which just speeds up the process. If you're an institution that just sees, oh yeah, our clients they're really seeking exposure to crypto, but yeah, crypto is hard to understand, then an ETN is possibly the easiest way to do this within a matter of days instead of a matter of months.
That's a very good point. Now, if I told you in one sentence, what is the unique selling point of Vanek? What would you say it is?
So I would say it's really the experience. So it's a 70-year-old family business been experienced with ETF-like products for a very long time, and also transparency. I don't want to, make direct comparisons with competitors, but we noticed that transparency is particularly important for ETNs, because ETNs, it's a debt instrument. You have to look at what it is. A debt instrument comes with counterparty risk, which means that there is some sort of trust needed in the issuer of the product. So that's the kind of the obligation that the investor has to understand this, right? That if you buy an ETN, you have counterparty risk on the issuer, and that is why it's very important as an issuer to be fully transparent about everything you're doing with the collateral. And we noticed that, for example, with staking, I think we are probably the only provider that provides all the data points when it comes to staking. Exactly how much we stake, how much yield we're making on the stake position, what the fees are on staking, how much exactly is flowing through to the investors. And we also make it all publicly available. You can go to our website, the product pages of Ethereum or Solana. You can download the staking reward history and check it all for yourself. Whether what we have generated in terms of rewards is reflected in the value of the product you hold. So we make it sort of verifiable.
Mm-hmm.
And we noticed that this is something that's lacking with many of the competitors. And this transparency, it's not just in staking, it's also just in general in the entire setup. We've always been transparent about the naming convention of the ETN. We noticed that some competitors choose to avoid the ETN label because it has sort of has a bad reputation because of it being a debt instrument.
Yeah.
And some people or some companies they try to use things like ETP or sometimes even ETC, and even though it's not correct, you even sometimes see ETF, which is definitely not true. It's not a fund. It's a debt instrument. It's a note, and so we just try to be fully transparent, and we notice that this is very appreciated by professional investors, by institutional investors, and this is the way that we want to do business.
That's very good. That was more than one sentence, but that was very good. That was very well.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, if I summarize it very easily, experience, verifiable transparency, and without any doubt, a lot of knowledge. That is what my takeaway is from this interview. Your knowledge is very deep. And it's one of the conversations I enjoyed the most because we could actually talk at the same level. You understand me, I understand you. So I'm pretty sure those watching this video are going to take a lot from it. So, Menno, from us here at Bitcoin Magazine, would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming. To those of you watching, you know what to do. Share these videos. Leave a comment. We always come back into the comment section to answer these comments. Anything that you would like to know, leave it in the comments as well. We keep bringing these videos for you to help with the adoption, to help with the knowledge base, to make sure that you guys understand how important it is to be up to date with all the information that we keep bringing you from Bitcoin Magazine. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you soon.